struggled with this decision, and I have the utmost respect for anyone's decision, but my husband and I agreed that the place for our son at this point in time is in the classroom. So if given the choice to send him back, we have made the choice to send him back to school. I need there to be a point where I'm his mother and not his disciplinarian or his coach or I just feel like there needs to be a separation where I can be a sacred space for him in his social emotional learning, and that needs to be separated from his education. And so really it came down to very granular things. I'm not qualified to teach him, and the spring semester after spring break was horrible. It was horrible. And that line was blurred, and I saw a tremendous amount of depression and anxiety about having conversations with me that had never existed before. And so I need him to be educated by a qualified professional educator who's been trained and has a tremendous amount of experience doing so. And I need to go back to the role of being his mother. Let me just be real. They did the best what they had. They did a brilliant job with what they had to deal with. And we were all caught off guard by what occurred. I think they did an extraordinary job in communicating, but it wasn't something that was planned. And so therefore, I don't think that my child responded well to here's a Zoom class and then go get it done. That didn't work for us. And so, honestly, I think it taught us a lot about how our children learn. Some children are self-directed, some need in-person instruction. And so this helps us think through like the next 10 years of his education as we get ready for college. He's going to have to, he would not be an online college student. He would have to be an in-person educated, probably very hands-on learning style of a student. And therefore, again, kind of leading back to why we made this decision. What makes it so excruciating is that you're talking about your livelihood of life and death and that emotion that goes into all of that. And so I, again, really feel for parents in making these decisions because it was not simple. I want small class size. I want there to be very clear instruction. I need there to be excellent communication between the teacher and the parent, because this is the time when they're trying to teach the kids to be a lot more self-sufficient. Let's work it out between student teacher because they're preparing them for high school. And then of course, hopefully education after high school as well, no matter if it's a trade or a university setting. I need there to be a lot of communication with the teachers themselves, because I feel like that we're all put into a very unmanageable situation no matter what we decide. I am very fearful that the mask thing is not going to work out very well. And so I really want to make sure that we're part of the communication of how well things are going. We talked about it every day. And finally he said, would you just decide already so I can decide how I'm going to feel about this? Because one day I would say, you're definitely staying home. And then the next day it was like, oh, we are definitely sending you back. Because all of the information that's swirling about safety, about wellness, and I guess the tipping point for us was the social emotional. It is very isolating to have a 13-year-old at home alone, and they're only, we're not breaking the rules. We're not doing play dates. We're not out in the street playing. The kids are at home. Well, at my house, I have one and a dog. And so I need him to be socially accessible with other kids. We have nice kids down the street, but they can get into sparring matches over trying to think of what I'm trying to call it, the online games, and that's the only social outlet they have. And so they do what these kids do. They block each other on their phones, and the Xboxes, they won't let them play in their Xbox room. And so it's becoming this depression and social isolation, almost like something books for the next 10 years are going to be written about this crazy time that the only social aspect of your kids being able to engage with each other is online, which is what we don't want our kids to be. So I almost am sending him back. Not only does he need to be educated with in person, I need there to be real kids. Like, I'm sitting 6 feet away from a real kid who's not able to block me because he doesn't like me right now. they still have to sit next to each other. So I feel like the physical engagement is as important as the education itself.